Purport by Srila Prabhupada. First of all, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose order I am engaged in this Herculean task of writing commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam as the Bhaktivedanta purports. By his grace, we have finished 3 cantos already, and we are just trying to begin the 4th canto. By his divine grace, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya, who began this Krishna consciousness movement of Bhagavad Dharma 500 years ago. And through his grace, let us offer our obeisances to the 6 Goswamis. And then let us offer our obeisances to Radha and Krishna, the spiritual couple who enjoy eternally in Vrindavan with their cowherd boys and damsels in Brajabhumi. Let us also offer our respectful obeisances to all the devotees and eternal servitors of the Supreme Lord. In this 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 31 chapters, and all these chapters describe the secondary creation by Brahma and Manus. The real creation is done by the Supreme Lord himself, by agitating his material energy. And then by his order, Brahma, the first living creature in the universe, attempts to create the different planetary systems and their inhabitants, expanding the population through his progeny like Manus and other progenitors of living entities who work perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. In the first chapter of this 4th canto, there are descriptions of the 3 daughters of Swayambhuva Manu and their descendants. The next 6 chapters describe the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it was spoiled. Thereafter, the activities of Maharaj Dhruva are described in 5 chapters. Then, in 11 chapters, the activities of King Prithu are described, and the next 8 chapters are devoted to the activities of the Prachetas kings. As described in the first verse of this chapter, Swayambhuva Manu had 3 daughters named Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Of these 3 daughters, one daughter, Devahuti, has already been described along with her husband Kardama Muni and her son Kapila Muni. In this chapter, the descendants of the first daughter, Akuti, will specifically be described. Swayambhuva Manu is the son of Brahma. Brahma had many other sons, but Manu's name is specifically mentioned first because he was a great devotee of the Lord. In this verse, there is also the word cha, indicating that beside the 3 daughters mentioned, Swayambhuva Manu also had 2 sons. So, today we are beginning the first chapter of Canto 4. We have been reading Canto 3 so far with the pastimes and teachings of Lord Kapila to his mother Devahuti. And now in this Canto 4, further pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees are being explained. And here we see the conversation in this verse is between, here it says, Sri Maitreya Uvacha, Maitreya is speaking. So Maitreya is speaking to whom? To Vidura. So the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many conversations that is parallelly going on. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation primarily between Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is asking many questions and Shukadev Goswami is replying, and that's how the entire Srimad Bhagavatam emerged. But parallelly, we also have many other conversations going on. One is this, the second one being the conversation between Shaunaka Rishi, the head of the sages who assembled in the forest of Naimisharanya, and Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami being the main speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Suta Goswami had heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadev Goswami while he was narrating it to Parikshit Maharaj. So that's the second conversation. First is Shukadev and Parikshit. Second is Suta Goswami and Shaunaka. And this is another one between Maitreya Rishi and Vidura. So in this verse, Maitreya Rishi is telling Vidura, Swayambhuva Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Shatarupa, and their names were Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So the mention of Swayambhuva Manu is here, and Swayambhuva Manu is the first Manu in the process of creation of the 14 Manus which come and go in one day of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years and 365 days, 100 years, and in one day of Brahma, 14 Manus come and go. So what is the lifespan of one Manu? It is Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, and Brahma's one day is equal to Sahasra Yuga, 1000 Mahayugas. That means 1000 into 43 lakh years. One Mahayuga is Satyug plus Treta plus Dwapar plus Kali. This entire thing is one Mahayuga. Like this, 1000 Mahayugas is one day of Brahma, and in one day of Brahma, 14 Manus come and go. So if you divide 1000 by 14, a lifespan of Manu is approximately 72 Mahayugas. You can imagine what is the span of Manu. And that's the age of Manu. And how many Manus will come and go in the life of Brahma? So if in a day of Brahma, 14 Manus come and go, if you multiply 14 into 100 into 365, that is 5,11,000 Manus come and go in one lifespan of Brahma. So these are the wonderful creations of the Lord. We are living, this age is called the age of Vaivasvata Manu, right? And Vaivasvata Manu is the 7th Manu, and he is the son of sun god Vivasvan. Vivasvan Manave Praha, we see in the Bhagavad Gita. So here in the Bhagavatam right now, the first Manu is being described. First Manu is Swayambhuva Manu, the son of Lord Brahma. And today we are living in the age of 7th Manu, who is Vaivasvata Manu, who is the son of sun god Vivasvan. So Swayambhuva Manu is mentioned here that he begot 3 daughters in his wife Shatarupa. He was married to Shatarupa, his wife, and their daughters were Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So in the 3rd canto, already the description of Devahuti was mentioned, and now beginning this chapter in the 4th canto, a description about the chapter itself is entitled Genealogical Tables of the Daughters of Manu. So daughters of Manu, so Akuti and Prasuti will be described. So in this verse, this is what is being described, the genealogical tables of the daughters of Manu. So Prabhupada begins the purport by mentioning, first of all, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad, Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, by whose order I am engaged in this Herculean task of writing the commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam as the Bhaktivedanta purport. And then as the purport progresses, we see how Prabhupada is offering obeisances not just to his spiritual master, but to his spiritual master, to all the devotees, and up to Radha Krishna. So he's offering his respectful obeisances to the entire Guru Parampara, starting with Lord Krishna. So this offering obeisances, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam Namaskuru, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Just by doing this, Mam Eveshyasi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyo Asime. How powerful it is. We don't realize every day we are so fortunate, we are so blessed that every day we come. How many times will we be offering obeisances to the deities, spiritual masters and their lordships? How many times a day? Without even unconsciously also many a times we offer obeisances. Of course, consciously we are offering, but we are so blessed that Prabhupada has given us such a wonderful place where we are not realizing that the kind of devotional service that we are doing, automatically the kind of devotional service we are doing, specifically offering obeisances, we are gaining so much in spiritual life. Daily reading Srimad Bhagavatam, that Prabhupada is writing, and offering obeisances, we cannot imagine our fortune. We are here, so we have to sit in the Bhagavatam class and we offer obeisances. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is reading Srimad Bhagavatam and what is doing, engaging in chanting, reading Bhagavatam, offering obeisances is mentioned. We all know that. Nama Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Simply by engaging in Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. All your Papa Pranashanam will be destroyed. And it is also mentioned, Pranamo Dukkha Shamanas. Pranamo, if you offer obeisances, Dukkha Samanas, all your dukkha, all your difficulties, Samanas, will subside. Tam Namami Harim Param. And therefore I offer my Tam Namami, again it is mentioned. Pranamo means offering obeisances. If you offer obeisances, your dukkhas are subsided. And that is why Tam Namami, I offer my obeisances, Harim Param, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. So just by offering obeisances, here it is said, all our dukkhas will subside. That is what it means just to offer obeisances. Imagine, even a small child, when he comes, he just follows, imitates his parents, imitates his elders who are with him. He just offers obeisances and he is actually advancing in devotional service and all his dukkhas are being mitigated. So he offers obeisances to all the spiritual master, and Prabhupada writes, by whose order I am engaged in this Herculean task of writing the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. So it was Srila Prabhupada who had received this order. This shows that we cannot write any spiritual books, commentaries on spiritual books, unless and until we are ordered, we are authorized by our predecessor Acharya. Because unless and until we are qualified, we cannot write spiritual books. And how do we know whether we are qualified? It is only our spiritual master who can judge whether I have become qualified. And that is why we know very well how Srila Prabhupada said that yes, I have been ordered. And at the same time, Srila Prabhupada did not order anyone to become the next spiritual master. So that is the unique position of Srila Prabhupada. He is the Guru in this Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, starting from Srila Prabhupada. He was ordered to write the Srimad Bhagavatam. So his purports, his commentaries are the bona fide commentaries. It is what Sri Krishna wanted us to understand, what he wanted to explain. Prabhupada is explaining exactly the way Lord Krishna wanted it to be explained and wanted us to understand, because he has received this order. And he writes, in this Herculean task of writing the commentary. Actually, writing Srimad Bhagavatam commentary is a Herculean task. There are 18,000 verses, and Srila Prabhupada just did not give us a summary of the Srimad Bhagavatam. For every verse, he wrote the word-to-word meaning, he wrote the translation, and he wrote an elaborate commentary purport which we can understand. In fact, many times devotees have told that they relish reading the purports of Srila Prabhupada because they are so nice, so sweet, so nectarian. Because Prabhupada has written it in a way that a common person can understand. We can relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi Sri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Srimad Bhagavatam is no ordinary book. Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi. All the Vedanta, all the scriptures, it is the Saram. Saram means the essence. Sarva Vedanta Saram Hi Sri Bhagavatam Ishyate. Tad Rasamrita Triptasya. And that Srimad Bhagavatam, Rasa Amrita. Rasa means the juice. Amrita, the nectarian juice. If you drink the Srimad Bhagavatam, this nectarian juice of Srimad Bhagavatam, tad rasamrita triptasya nanyatrasva rati kvachit. If you drink Srimad Bhagavatam, if you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then nanyatra, you will not desire, you will nanyatrasa rati kvachit. Rati means attraction. So Srimad Bhagavatam is so attractive that if you hear this, you'll find it so attractive that any other kind of attraction you will not look after. You will not search after anything else. That's why our Krishna consciousness movement is we have to develop a higher taste. It is only by developing a higher taste can we give up, can we subside all the lower tastes. How to give up our lust, how to give up our anger, how to give up kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada by a higher taste. And this Srimad Bhagavatam is tad rasa amrita triptasya. It can completely satisfy us. We're all looking for some taste. We're all looking for some pleasure. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the right pleasure. And the way Srila Prabhupada has written these commentaries, it becomes very, very relishable. Because he's a pure devotee. So from the mouth of a pure devotee, we are hearing this. Shukadev Goswami is a pure devotee. And then Srila Prabhupada, again a pure devotee, is translating it, so it becomes even more relishable. Just like the example is given. Shukadev Goswami is like the parrot who pecks the fruit. A ripe fruit is very relishable, very tasty. The ripe fruit is the best fruit, is the best thing that you can get from a tree. The best output of a tree is a ripe fruit. But the ripe fruit becomes even more relishable when it is pecked by the beak of a parrot. Shukha mukhad amrita. And now we have Srila Prabhupada, another pure devotee, who is so elaborately explaining the Srimad Bhagavatam through his Bhaktivedanta purports. And so we should actually, this taste for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we must all remember that this is the most important thing that I must be cultivating, that I must be developing. Whether I am becoming eager to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So, here, why does Prabhupada write Herculean task, as I was mentioning, 18,000 verses, and many of us have not even read Srimad Bhagavatam entirely, and maybe we are more than 11 years or 10 years, I don't know, maybe some of them. And Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada, along with all his so many duties, he translated the Srimad Bhagavatam in these 11 years. He would get up at midnight, 12 o'clock, and till about 4 a.m., he would be translating Srimad Bhagavatam using the dictaphone. And he would hear them, he would rewind it, he would go back, he would edit it. Everything Srila Prabhupada did single-handedly. Word-to-word meaning, translation, commentary. And Srila Prabhupada wanted this to get completed because he knew that this is the most nectarian fruit and this is required. The abhadra within the heart can be completely destroyed just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada took so many pains, so many troubles, slept for just 2 hours every day in the night, 2 to 3 hours, because he wanted to give this to us. So actually, if we can just develop that same eagerness to hear, that eagerness with which Srila Prabhupada wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, then our life is done. If you just think, if you have to convince yourself why I must be reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day, the reason is because Srila Prabhupada took so much pains and troubles to write the Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses. So he is engaged in this Herculean task of writing this commentary. And then he says, by his grace we have finished 3 cantos already. So this is also something very important. If we are able to achieve some success in spiritual life, we have to attribute that success to our spiritual master, by his grace. Prabhupada doesn't say that, we have finished writing or I have finished writing. It is by his grace that he has finished writing. So similarly, any accomplishments that we are doing, we are able to achieve anything in our spiritual life is only by his grace, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada. So this is something very important, always acknowledging that it is Srila Prabhupada's grace that is upon me. It is his mercy which is upon me, because of which I am able to do anything, even it be chanting 16 rounds or the simplest of things that we do every day. We must remember our spiritual life, we are leading a spiritual life based on the mercy that is flowing down from Srila Prabhupada through the Guru Parampara. That's why he is offering his obeisances right from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to the 6 Goswamis, to Lord Chaitanya, to Radha Krishna. Why? Because this is spiritual life, means spirit advance. Prabhupada writes in one place, spiritual advancement in spiritual life depends more or less on the mercy of the spiritual master. Samsara dava nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana. The mercy which the spiritual master has obtained from the ocean of mercy, that is Krishna, through the parampara, is flowing down, and that is why I am able to execute my devotional service. So it's very important that if we have to progress in spiritual life, we must be connected to a bona fide Guru Parampara. And we are very fortunate, we are very blessed that we are connected. If you are not connected to a bona fide Guru Parampara, that means, what is the meaning of being connected to a bona fide Guru Parampara? That means you have Srila Prabhupada, we have our Guru as a Guru in the bona fide Guru Parampara, and like this, he has his Guru, he has his Guru. That is meaning being connected. Because only if you are connected will the mercy flow down from Krishna through the Acharyas and be bestowed upon us. So that way we are very blessed that we are in that position. We should always remind ourselves that I am existing in spiritual life because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Then further, here it is mentioned that this 4th canto will describe secondary creations by Brahma and the Manu. The real creation is done by the Supreme Lord himself by agitating his material energy. So there is talking about 2 kinds of creation, the primary creation and the secondary creation. So as we know, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigrah Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the cause of all causes. So he is the original cause, or he is the primary creator. So what did Krishna create as the primary creator, and what does Brahma and Manu create as the secondary creator? Of course, Brahma and Manu, that's why they are called secondary creator. That means they are not independent creators. They are secondary, meaning they are creating because they are receiving the power from Krishna. So there is no meaning in Brahma or Manu being the secondary creator without the mercy of Krishna. Again, the same principle. Just like in the train example, there is no meaning in the bogie 10th moving. You may say that the bogie 10 is moving because it is being pulled by the bogie in front of it. Yes, it is right. But actually all the bogies are moving because the primary mover, engine, is pulling. So Krishna is the primary creator, and he created this entire material universe. He was lying as Mahavishnu in this causal ocean, and he impregnated the Pradhana, the Mahat, and that's how all the 24 elements came into existence, and from him expanded, from him came various universes, and from these universes, in each universe, Mahavishnu further expanded as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu was born Lord Brahma, and that's how Lord Brahma became the secondary creator. So that is the meaning of primary. And so what does Brahma create? So Krishna created all the elements and all the universes. And then what does Brahma create? Brahma and Manus, Brahma created this material, all the material worlds in this universe. And Manus, they are Brahma's sons. Manus are also called the Prajapatis. Manus and the Prajapatis, together they are Prajapatis. They created population to fill this material universe. So that's how they are the secondary creators. And here it is further written, Srila Prabhupada writes that by his order, Brahma, the first living creature of the universe, attempts to create the different planetary system. And then further it is written that Brahma, Manu and other progenitors of living entity who work perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. So twice this word is used. By his order, Brahma is creating. By whose order? By the order of the Supreme Lord. And Manus are also working under the order of the Supreme Lord. So we are all actually working under someone's order. Our constitutional position is to work under the order of the Supreme Lord or his predecessor Acharyas. And if we do not wish to follow the order of our predecessor Acharya or the Supreme Lord, then we will be following the order of our mind and senses. So now the option is up to us. Whose order I wish to follow? We have to follow someone's order. Whose order? And whosever order I am following, I am becoming his servant. So first thing is to understand that actually our constitutional position is servant. But unfortunately, instead of becoming the servant of the Supreme Lord, we have become the servant of our senses. And that is why, because we are the servant of our senses, we are not happy, we are confused, we are afraid, we are fearful. Jeev Krishna Das, ei Vishwas, Korle Toar Dukkha Nai. Bhaktivedanta Thakur is singing, Jeev, living entity, is Krishna Das. Ei Vishwas, this faith, if we have that I, Jeev is the Krishna Das, if we have this faith and we are acting on that platform, Korle Toar Dukkha Nai, then there is no more fear. So all fear in this material world comes because of trying to be independent, trying to be Lord, trying to be masters, not willing to listen to the Supreme Lord, and that is why all fear sets in. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. You're all my part and parcels. And a part is supposed to serve the whole. So if I desire, very simple example Prabhupada gives us. If I desire to eat something, I'll order my hand to go there and pick it up and put it in my mouth. The hand has to simply follow the orders of me, this body. And only then the hand will be happy, the hand will be satisfied. So similarly, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, we are his servant, he is our master. We simply have to follow the instructions of Krishna. And the instructions of Krishna are so simple. Any one of us, in fact, to follow the orders and dictates of our senses are actually difficult. And to follow the orders of Krishna is so simple. What is Krishna telling us? Man mana, bhava mad bhakto, mad yaji, mam namaskuru. That's all. And if you do this, mam eva eshyasi, Krishna is saying, you eva, eshyasi, eva means, mam, you will come. Certainly, eva, Eshyasi, you will come. You will certainly come to me. Mam eva eshyasi satyam te. You will truly come to me. Pratijane. He's saying, I'm promising you this. So look at the benefit that we get by following Krishna's order. And look at the way Krishna is telling what benefit you will get if you follow my order. He's not saying you will come to me. He's saying you will certainly come to me. Mam eva. Eshyasi means you will come. He says eva means you will certainly come to me. Eva means certainly. Pratijane, you will truly come to me, he's saying. And pratijane means promising. I promise that you will come to me. You will truly come to me. Satyam te. So this is what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. This is what he's saying everywhere. Just follow my order. Be under my shelter and I will protect you. So just like we see here, all the Manus, they are all great devotees. They work perpetually under the order. So it's another thing. Not that, okay, today I'll do Krishna's order and tomorrow I will do a little bit of sense gratification. No. Right now we are in that position because we are conditioned. But here Bhagavatam is saying, Manus and the other progenitors work perpetually under the order of the Supreme Lord. So this should be a prayer to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, I want to be perpetually engaged in your devotional service. And finally, Prabhupada is ending the purport by talking about that in this chapter, the first daughter, so Swayambhuva Manu has three daughters, Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. Devahuti's son Kapila was described, and now in this chapter, Akuti's children will be described. And here, Manu's name is, and Prabhupada goes back to saying that why. So Swayambhuva Manu is the son of Brahma. Now Brahma has many other sons. But why Swayambhuva Manu's name is mentioned? Why other children of Brahma is not mentioned? Because Swayambhuva Manu has a very special position why his name is mentioned, and that special position is because he was a great devotee of the Lord. So this is actually the qualification that we all have to attain in this life. How to become a devotee of the Lord. We may become very big in so many other things, but to become a big devotee is a real big thing. And big devotee means what? Not a big devotee in that sense, but a big devotee means a humble devotee. A humble devotee is a big devotee. A big devotee is a devotee who acknowledges that he is situated in this position because the mercy that is flowing from the spiritual masters, from Krishna through the spiritual master, he is a true, a genuine, a real devotee. So this is some things, and then in the next verse we will further continue seeing how Akuti had the further genealogical table will continue in the next verse. So we will end here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.